Welcome back to day 3 of AF Fire. We are here. We have made it. Today is all about taking everything we've learned so far and executing your beautiful vision out into the world. I'm so excited to hear. I'm also going to be sharing with you today how to attract wealth masterclass. It's going to be completely free for you, so watch out. You're going to get the link in the comments pretty shortly. All right, so something that's so beautiful to me about when you reevaluate the role of alcohol in your life is that it scrambles your brain. You know, I never thought as a drinker that I would not only not be a drinker, but also be super happy about it, right? Because I always just thought that, like, if I either love drinking so much, it was so much of my identity, I either love it, and so if I ever not drank, I would be like deprived, basically, or I would just be a drinker for the rest of my life. And so that was like at one point so strong in my mind that this is just something I'm married to. This is just something I'm going to be doing for the rest of my life. And if not, I would be incredibly sad without it, right? Does anyone like remember those feelings of how it felt like that? So good to see you guys. Hey, Berkey, Catherine, Ann, Carrie, Wendy. So amazing. I'm so excited you guys are here. And so we're just kind of bringing things together on day 3 about how your identity shifts so much when you reevaluate the role of alcohol in your life. The thing that happens in your brain, like I said, I was at a point where I would never have thought that I would be happy without drinking. Like literally, I don't know if I consciously would have said those words, but like there was something deep inside of me that believed that. And so when I went alcohol free, and not only did I like ditch alcohol and decide to like go a long period without it, but then I also found literally euphoria without it. I found so much more happiness, so much more energy, so much more drive and confidence, and all these beautiful gifts that I wanted that we talked about in day 1. I never expected any of that. I never expected it to be so freaking magical. And I used to teach this class called The Life Changing Magic of Taking a Break from Alcohol. It's kind of like a riff on The Life Changing Magic of Tidying Up by Marie Kondo, right? Like, we don't even expect it to be so life changing and so magical. So, here's the thing that's going on in your brain, it's kind of confused. It's like, wait a minute, I thought we were drinkers and now we're not drinkers? I thought we loved alcohol. Now we're reading articles about like how alcohol is not good for you and how we're changing our beliefs about alcohol. Your brain is like, okay, I guess this is brand new. We're going to do something. This is like we're going to throw ourselves into this. And it is this perfect time when you're newly alcohol free between anywhere from like, 1 month to even 2 years, let's say. When you're newly alcohol free, this is the perfect time to shift the identity that you have on anything else. Your brain is already scrambled. You've already changed your identity in a huge way. Now your brain is kind of open, like, oh, well, yeah, I guess why not? Why couldn't we be a writer? Why couldn't we be an entrepreneur? Why couldn't we have a wellness center? Why couldn't we do this? Like, why couldn't we do that? Like, it is so possible now to inject in so much more possibility because you've already done something and already doing something that your brain never would have thought you would have done anyways, right? And I really think this period is special between around like the 1 month alcohol free to around 2 years alcohol free, give or take, obviously, that there is so much leverage you can have in this period to literally shift the identity for the rest of your life. Now, here's the funny thing about identity. Identity is one of the core things that actually drives our human behavior. Like, for example, if you have an identity of an athlete, you don't think to yourself, like, oh, I need to get to the gym, but I don't want to. You're just like, no, athletes do this, so I'm doing this because I'm an athlete, right? And our identity is one of the top of the pyramids when it comes to human change. When we change our identity, everything else kind of trickles down. We're able to change so many other elements of our lives. But the sad thing is because we talked about this conditioning we get, we also talked about subconscious programming in day 2. Most of our beliefs about ourselves were programmed by somebody else. So your identity isn't necessarily who you really are, it's what someone else made you believe you are when you were young and impressionable, right? So when we have this identity of I'm just indecisive, or I don't know what to do, or I'm not that confident enough to just start this business, or blah, 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 all the limiting things, it's not true. There's nothing rooted in actual truth or reality for you that makes that have to be so. It's long ago programming, long ago experiences, long ago exposure to different modes of the world that probably weren't very helpful that made us believe that we are not capable of going after our biggest dreams. And we know that because we don't go after our bigger dreams, right? If we're smashing it with our dreams, if all of our dreams are coming true, then this is no problem, right? But every human grapples with this because we are born and live in a world that teaches us this sense that, most things aren't possible and it's hard to survive and, you're not good enough and you're not smart enough and you would never be like this person, and we sometimes even aren't have to be told these things. We just kind of glean them from childhood, maybe when other people are more popular or smarter than us. We just absorb these things as time goes on. So when you are able to shift your identity from a drinker to a non-drinker, this is the perfect time to shift your identity in any other area of your life. So, for example, I never thought of myself as a runner. Like, I don't actually like running, right? It's not this enjoyable thing for me. So good to see you guys. I'm so happy you guys are here. Jan, so good to see you. Carrie, good to see you. Jalen, Mary, I'm so happy you're here. But anyway, I never thought of myself as a runner. It was actually something my sister did really religiously. My sister is she's done a lot of Ironmans. So Ironmans are like triple triathlons where you do like swimming, biking, and running a marathon. It's like a whole day affair. Like you have to be a crazy beast of an athlete. So that's her over there, but like not me, right? I'm not a runner. I grew up dancing ballet and just didn't associate with that. And what do I do the first year that I ditch alcohol? I sign up for a half marathon and run it and actually beat my husband, who's already a runner, right? My brain is so scrambled that I can put on any identity I want. And instead of putting on the disempowering identities of all the things I can't do or all the limitations I might have in my life, you can choose to put on the identities that actually serve you. You are a writer. You are an entrepreneur. You are a thought leader. You are a nonprofit badass. You are someone who travels the world. You are a coach. You are whatever it is, fill in the blank of what you want to be. And this is so critical because when we talked about day 2, how our beliefs are so important to creating our reality, we now have to intentionally create a reality where these new beliefs can flourish, right? And I'm going to tell you a little bit about how I manifested a 6-figure book deal with a super small following just about a year and a half into my business. Literally, according to like all practical realities, this shouldn't have happened, but I was able to really enforce my new beliefs and create the energetics of manifestation. And I'm going to share with you all those tips in just a second. So we know that anything is now possible to our brain when we remove alcohol from it because we've scrambled our identity so much. Our brain's like, okay, I guess all these other things are up for question too. I guess all these things you decided long ago aren't you. Maybe they are. Maybe you can do that. Maybe you can do this. Maybe you can do that, right? And it's the sense of possibility that comes up. The scramble is a good thing, right? It's the sense of possibility. And we still have some preconceived beliefs about why we can't. Obviously, that is part of being human. We were all programmed and conditioned to run out our subconscious programming. But it is now on us, on our shoulders, to change that programming and to foster new beliefs that actually support our goals and dreams. So, how do we do this? Let me share with you some concrete examples from my life, and then we'll talk more about the energetics from it. So you've probably heard about manifestation. It's not a new concept under the sun, but sometimes when we like have heard of it and maybe even we practice it, we can do it in a really boring way. Like just like, oh, I write out my affirmations or like I write out goals or something. And I think it's a total embodiment. Manifestation and the idea of really embodying these new beliefs is actually like embodiment. Like you have to live it. You have to breathe it. You have to really inculcate it into your life. So when I was about a year and a half into my business, I got a 6-figure book deal from HarperCollins. HarperCollins also published Mark Twain and Emily Bronte and, so many incredible leaders that I look up to, so many incredible authors. Like, who the hell was I getting a 6-figure book deal from HarperCollins? I had a pretty small following at that point. I think I had around 4,000 Instagram followers, which is, not teeny, but obviously it's not huge. And I got a $125,000 book deal from HarperCollins. That wasn't the only book deal I got. I also got one from a UK publisher, I got one from a Czech publisher, and I got one from a Polish publisher, which is like the coolest thing ever. Actually, there's Jan here right now. He was reading my book in Czech, which is just like scrambles my brain even more. Like, how is this even life, right? Like, this is just magical how the universe has connected all of us. Truly, the universe connected us in a magical way, and I'm so excited to be talking to you and be part of this community. And I hope we get to stay close and really work on these dreams together. So I get this 6-figure book deal. How the hell did that happen, right? And I have to look back at the previous 2 years to show how much my energetics dictated and changed my beliefs and changed my reality, because consciousness drives reality, right? So one of the things I started doing, especially I remember in 2019. So in 2018 is when I go alcohol free. I start writing like a first draft of a book. I start starting kind of my business online, but I'm not really like selling anything. And then 2019 is when I actually start selling, and I start like really taking my book more seriously. And I even start writing a book proposal then. And so I go over this. I have a class called How to Write a Book masterclass in my program Become Emboldened. So I give you all the details of like the practical steps if you're one of those who wants to write a book. I know I saw a lot of you. But as it goes, I'm working on this like practical stuff, right? But on the back end, I'm also working on a lot of energetic stuff. So yes, I am, sometimes writing affirmations or visualizing and stuff like that. But some of the key things that I remember worked so much better for me when it comes to the energetics of actually manifesting what you want was embodying it. And just today, I did something that I used to do so often back then, and I need to do it more. Sometimes I need to even remind myself of these lessons, is I did a little dance party downstairs. So in 2019, I was working a full-time job at a university. I was also trying to build a business, and that year I made around $7,000, which wasn't much in comparison to actually having to, sustain me, but I thought it was freaking cool because I never even thought my business would go anywhere, right? And so what I did is I applied so many lessons of changing my belief systems in that year. And I remember waking up. Since I had a full-time job, I would wake up at 5 a.m., right? Like the 5 a.m. club, I would wake up at 5 a.m. to be able to focus on my business, to be able to focus on, maybe it was writing blogs or doing Instagram posts, or maybe it was writing my book, like anything to do with my passion project. I was waking up early to do it before work. And I would wake up, and nobody likes waking up early. So I'd have this little ritual where I'd go downstairs, I'd make coffee, and I'd put on this playlist and start dancing around my kitchen. It was often dark, right? It was dark in the morning, and I would just go with it, and I would just get super excited about what I was building. Now, I didn't have all the results back then. I had a really small following. I didn't make very much money. I wasn't celebrating the results. I was celebrating the action I was taking, right? Because so often we wait for the results, for the outcomes, for the wins to finally celebrate and be like, yes, someone finally bought, or I finally got this, Instagram up to this height, or I finally finished this book. It's like, no. We need to celebrate the actions, not just the outcomes, because you're essentially then waiting to be happy. You're waiting for a future time to finally bless you with happiness instead of enjoying the freaking journey. And that's the whole point, right? I'm so about goals. I'm so about helping people achieve their dreams. But I'm telling you, just checking off a goal or a dream off your list is not what's going to provide happiness. It's who you grow into because of that goal stretching you. And so it's critical to enjoy the journey as you're building the thing that you want to build in this world. And so when I was doing these dance parties in the kitchen at 5 a.m., totally in the dark, I was literally lifting up my energy, my spirit, my mood, and just having this incredible outlook for the day. And to this day, if I hear one of those songs that I had on that playlist back in 2019, it makes me cry. It makes me cry because literally every dream I had in my heart then came true. Every single one came true. I am now living the reality that past version of me seated and danced to and had all the hopes and dreams around, but she had no evidence back then that it was going to work out. No evidence, right? And I cry when I hear those songs today because I'm so proud of the past version of me who persevered. I'm so proud of the past version of me who did all of this stuff energetically and practically to get to the dreams that I have now achieved. And so, this is one example of how we can actually embody manifestation. It's like, how do we embody the energy of what we want to bring into our lives, right? And when I was doing those dance parties, I was already imagining myself as a best-selling author. I was already imagining myself as a six-figure coach. I was already imagining myself on TV and on a book tour. That energy of true hope and desire and almost knowing my future, how it's going to play out, even though it sounds crazy, it's totally delusional. Sometimes we have to be delusional because it's our energy and our thoughts and our consciousness that creates reality. So if we don't believe our dreams are possible, then they're not. Then they won't. Then your actions will never follow, right? And so in 2020, I also started to play around with other ways of manifesting this incredible dream and goal. Actually, in 2019, let me go back to that. In 2019, not only was I waking up early, writing maybe goals and affirmations, doing these dance parties, but I also changed every single one of my passwords because I knew how important that my subconscious programming was in order to achieve my goals. My subconscious programming, and almost every person's on this planet, is negative. Right? We have negative subconscious programming for the most part. And it is now our job as adults to change that programming, even sometimes subliminally, so we can achieve our bigger goals and dreams. So I went and changed every single password I had to book deal is coming. Book deal is coming. Book deal is coming, right? I was writing the first draft of my book and I wanted this book deal so badly. And I just had that written out everywhere. So how many times a day, maybe 15 times a day between all the different computer systems and work things I had to do, I'm typing out book deal is coming, book deal is coming without even thinking of it. It is so subliminal now. It is getting seeped into my subconscious of this is just what it is, what happens. I still have little reminders on my phone that say the book deal is coming. And at that point in my life, even though I had a super small following, even though there was no actual real reason, I wasn't a celebrity, and I actually met with people in the book industry who told me that if I didn't have like 100,000 subscribers, or if I didn't know Oprah, that a book deal was essentially impossible. So I was hearing from naysayers, but for some reason, I decided to be completely delusional. And there literally was, because of so much of the energy and manifestation I was building up, there really actually wasn't even doubt in my mind. Like, I really did believe that this was going to happen for me. And it was insane because, why would I have believed that? Why should I have believed that? All the evidence around me would have suggested that you're not going to get a book deal and, you're not going to, have all this, incredible stuff happen. But I chose to be delusional anyway. So what if we all tried on delusion? What if we all tried to really inculcate these new beliefs with almost like as a job, almost as the biggest passion we have? Yes, take the action steps. Yes, do the practical things. That's really important, But how can we subliminally and energetically start to truly believe that our dreams are meant for us? That literally start telling yourself, I wouldn't even have this dream if it wasn't possible for me. How much better does that feel than, yeah, I don't know, it's going to be hard. I don't think it's going to work, right? How much better does that feel? And so I remember at the beginning of 2020, my friend gets back from Brazil. And there's these little charm bracelets that in Bahia, the region of Bahia, where you essentially just tie a string onto your hand. And so my friend ties this string onto my hand and she says, I'm going to make 3 knots. And with every knot, I want you to make a wish. And I remember my wishes so clearly. My first wish was to be a full-time entrepreneur because at that time I was still working a full-time job at a university. My second wish was to get an amazing book deal. Again, no evidence that that was going to happen, but I had a wish and I just, was delusional about it. My third wish was to make 6 figures in my business. Now, the year before, I just made $7,000, right? Not anywhere near 6 figures. That was my very first year in business. And I have to say, even though it wasn't a livable income, I was so freaking proud of myself. To make even any money off of a new passion project of yours or a side hustle is a really big deal, right? We have to celebrate every single win. But the next year, I wanted to speed it up. I wanted to go a little faster and I wanted to make a 6-figure salary so I could quit my job and do this full time. So those are my 3 wishes, right? I wanted to be a full-time entrepreneur, I wanted an amazing book deal, and I wanted a 6-figure salary. Every single one of them came true that year. Every single one. And you know what? Every single time I looked down at that bracelet, even without consciously thinking, subconsciously, guess what was going into my brain? Those wishes. And guess the way that it was changing the way I react with the world, the way I act in the world, the action steps I take. Every single day, I had a reminder on my wrist that even if I didn't consciously think about, was reminding me of these beautiful intentions and the beautiful things I wanted to manifest in the world. So I quit my job in the early summer of that year. I got a six-figure book deal in July from HarperCollins, right? Like, what is life? I was so just flabbergasted. I was like so excited. And I knew from that moment on that everything would be different and everything would change. And I also, by the end of the year, made a six-figure salary. And this doesn't include the book deal because the book deal is paid out in installments. So I actually made that much in my business through the coaching I was doing and the programs I was selling. Like, what? Right? And those were my initial goals and dreams, right? And now every year I do a similar process to manifest the next set of goals and dreams. And so I think it's so important, when you look at the trajectory of my business growth, starting at 7K the first year, the six figures the next year, we start entering the multiple six figures after that in the low area. Then we get to the high multiple six figures, right? And we are on track to make $1 million now. Now, I would have never believed you when you would have told me this. Like, my goals were much smaller back then when I first started. Yet what's so amazing is that when you consistently show up for your goals and dreams, when you consistently show up for your passions, progress is inevitable, right? It might not look like this. It might look a little bit more like that. Same with like an alcohol-free journey, but progress truly is inevitable. So if you took a baby step today, I heard your beautiful goals and dreams. I'm still going through all the beautiful comments. I cannot wait to connect with you. And if I really want to like help you and share with you a little bit more about how this dream can happen, I might DM you, so be on the lookout for that. But I'm reading all of your passions about like if money was no issue, what I would do. And the thing is like most of you are not talking about, well, I would go buy a private island from Richard Branson and go, fly my private jet. Like, nobody is like so unrealistic that those things can't happen. Everything I've read so far is so feasible. It is so possible. Like, all you have to do is just get started, and I promise you that dream is going to be so much closer to fruition. And all it really takes is baby steps. And we don't have to know the whole journey. So from A to Z, you have no idea what's going to happen. All you need to know what to do is point A, right? Point A, and then guess what? Once you do point A, step B is going to reveal itself to you. And then step C is going to reveal itself to you. And just by being consistent and literally just committing yourself to your passion, every single day that goes by, you will become so much closer to your goal and dream. So let's say, for example, that you want to write a book, and you want to write a nonfiction book. And, a nonfiction book is actually very dependent on the strength of your platform. So a platform means your audience, how many readers you would have, right? So you might want to build an email list or a social media following, right? So maybe step A, before you even start writing the book or start, writing a book proposal or something like that, maybe step A is building a social media profile. Now, I know some of you might already be doing that, some of you aren't, but if you aren't, think of now, if you just started building it today and you posted consistently and you engaged with your community, where could you be in 2 years, right? And you say you started working on the book on the side and everything came to fruition, where would you be in 5 years, right? Our baby steps add up. Everything we do matters. And so maybe there's a baby step right now that you literally could do in 30 minutes. Maybe like this week, a baby step you could do that just takes you 30 minutes, that takes you closer to your goal and dream. And we often like put these things on the side or don't really go for them because we think it's so much effort, or it's gonna be so hard, or I'm not ready for that. But when you break it down to the smallest steps possible, it becomes feasible. And I'd much rather see you spend 30 minutes a week on your bigger goal and dream than 10 hours one day and never work on it ever again, right? 30 minutes a week, every single week, will add up. You will get so much closer to what you want. So what's actually stopping you from the goal and the dream? And maybe you've already achieved a lot of goals, and so this workshop's actually stretching you to think of like, well, what's next for me, And so it's also sometimes a matter of like, okay, I've finished this, I've completed that, like I've got the fulfillment of this. Now what's opening up for me? And so if I was watching this workshop, I might have a total new set of goals, instead of thinking about the ones I set up from 4 years ago. I would have new ones. And these new ones are probably things that I'm not working on at this moment because I'm, just taking care of business as of today. And so we always have the opportunity to lean in to these new goals and dreams and actually take baby steps around them. Now, I believe so wholeheartedly in the process of mentorship. I believe so wholeheartedly when I joined a women's leadership program in 2019. I was able to write a book proposal that I had been snoozing on and being so reluctant to start. And the power of the accountability and the power of the mindset work I did in that program literally is what got me to write a book proposal, which is what got me to get a six-figure book deal. Okay. And I know mentorship and masterminds are so effective in my life, right? Without some kind of level of mentorship, without actually being able to learn from someone who's ahead of you to collapse time, so you don't have to make all the mistakes that they made, but you actually learn from what works. And when you're able to get the accountability and support of a group that actually enables you to take action on your bigger goals and dreams, you collapse time. You make things happen faster than had you been just going it on your own. Plus, you don't give up and you get the empowerment and the mindset work you actually need to achieve your goals and dreams. So, my first year in business, I didn't really lean into mentorship. I tried to do everything by myself and I made $7,000 that year. My second year in business, I leaned into mentorship. I leaned into masterminds and group programs, and guess what I did? I made $100,000 that year, right? It was a 14x difference because of leaning into membership. And, I am obsessed with working with alcohol-free women and men. I'm obsessed with helping you inculcate your deeper dreams and goals. Sorry, inculcate is what I meant to say. I'm obsessed with helping you incubate these dreams and goals and actually put your gifts out into the world. And I have so many different programs and steps that you can take with me to be able to do that. So, for example, in October, we are launching our Empowered AF Coach Certification Program. That is a 5X certification program. So if one of your goals and dreams is to become a coach and help other people really believe and live these empowering ideals and actually achieve their goals and dreams or remove alcohol from their life, whatever it looks like, that will be starting in October. But oftentimes, we don't have to wait for the official credentials to just get started with something. If you have a goal of writing a book or launching a podcast or launching a business or starting a social media or going on this worldwide trip and traveling around the world or getting in the best health of your life, what are we waiting for, right? And so Become Emboldened is actually my signature program to help alcohol-free women and men achieve their deeper goal and dream. And what we do in that program is it's an incubator. You come in, and even if you're not sure exactly what it is you want to work on, we help get the clarity at first. So you get all of the clarity on what it is that you actually want to focus your time and space on. We also do a lot of the personal mental work to actually believe in your goals and dreams. So especially when we know that we are newly alcohol free, we have to do healing around our relationship with alcohol. We have to remove some of those root causes of what led us to drink, and we have to learn how to become really confident in an alcohol-free lifestyle. We also have to learn how to really believe in our deeper intuition and visualizations and really honestly have this sense of faith that anything is possible for us. So it's like I could tell you all the practical steps on how to write a book or how to launch a business, but if you don't do the inner mindset work, it all is a foundation that has no real legs, right? And so, when you're working on your mindset every single day and you're working in a group that actually uplifts you to get so growth oriented, so positive, the way you act and the way you take action in the world actually changes, right? And then you also get the strategy. You get the strategy on how to write a book. You get the strategy on how to launch a business. You get the strategy of how to grow in social media. You get the strategy of how to launch a podcast, right? It's all in there for you. So Become Emboldened is starting on June 11th, okay? This is our only round we're running for the whole year. It is this signature program that has launched so many books, so many businesses, so many podcasts, so many great endeavors into the world for newly alcohol-free women and men to truly do the personal work and healing that it takes to become a superstar and badass in their lives. We meet live, so it's not just a program you're doing on your own. It is a community group experience, and we meet live every 3 times a month, so almost every week, to actually workshop your bigger goals and dreams. So we have workshops, we have guest speakers that come in. For example, we have a guest speaker that talks about how to pivot in an unhappy or a burnt out career. We have a guest speaker that talks about manifestation. We have a guest speaker that talks about imposter syndrome. So we get through a lot of the different challenges and roadblocks that could be holding you back from your bigger goal and dream. We start June 11th, but we have an early bird pricing for you. So the normal price right now is $12.97, and it's actually worth way more. We've priced it at much higher in the past, but right now we are just, really wanting to like make this as accessible to as many people as possible. But right now, when you join the program before Tuesday night, that is, what is that, June 4th, before you join to June 4th, you're going to get $300 off. So you can join the program for only $997. There's also payment plans, so you can split it up over 6 months to make it super accessible to be able to join. And so what you do together is we're in a 4-month incubator together where I'm your coach and I'm helping you not only do the personal development work that helps you really believe and change those subconscious programs in your mind, but also to strategically achieve your bigger goal and dream and start taking baby steps. If someone were to tell me that they want to launch a business or a wellness center or write a book or do something like that, this is where I tell them to start. Because this is really the starting area, is like that personal development work, and that ability to start taking baby steps on their goals and dreams is so effective in this kind of incubator before you get more advanced and more advanced into further business trainings. This is exactly where I would start if I was also starting my own business or my own passion project. And I use that word passion project because there's all kinds of different goals and dreams that come up in the program, right? Maybe it's more business related, but maybe it's something that's more like art related. Like maybe you want to put your photography up on the internet or something like that. It really can be anything like that. So before Tuesday, if you join, we're going to include the link right now. Let me grab it for you. But if you join before Tuesday, you're going to get $300 off. It's early bird pricing, and you just need to use the code STRAWBERRY, and then you get the early bird pricing. We start on June 11th, and we go for 4 months. Think of it as your incubator for the summer to actually take all of the steps needed to start achieving your bigger goal and dream. So it stops being a pipe dream, right? And it starts being something that you can do here and now. Now, I want to write a second book, right? But I'm going to be honest with you guys, I haven't actually really started my second book. I have a lot going on in my life. I have, yes, achieved a lot of my goals and dreams, but now those goals and dreams are business as usual. I have a business to run, I have a team to run, I have like different programs I'm running. And so it's sometimes hard for me to focus on a new goal and dream because I already have so much going on. So what would I want to do if I wanted to write a second book? I would join an incubator like this that actually gave me the time, space, practical mentorship, and also the deeper personal work to work on this goal. An incubator is something that they do in startup culture where you have an idea for something and you actually want to take it into reality. I would love to work with you in this program. I'd love to meet you. So many of the women who've joined this program in the past, like we really have authors that have come out of this. One of the women who joined actually back in 2020, her book is going to the publisher this fall. I cannot believe it. We have another author who's written 2 or 3 books now, 3 children's books that she's written, and she's working on her first nonfiction book. We have so many coaches that have come out of this program and launched their coaching businesses. We have so many podcasts that have been launched out of this program, other health projects, and also just reevaluation of careers. Sometimes it just takes a matter of finding even a transition job to allow you to have more peace and freedom in your life so that you can actually work on your passions. So I would love to meet you. I would love to see you and become emboldened. Like, you are seriously my lifeblood today. You know what I did? I woke up early and I had a dance party. And I had a dance party in my kitchen, and it just like really brought me back to those old times. But it also really just is something that I was so excited about doing, because just reading your goals and dreams in this group has given me so much life. There's nothing that lifts my spirit and my just mental outlook than being surrounded by dreamers. There is something so special about you for being able to tap into that. Most humans are pessimistic, most humans are realistic, most humans just shut it down. But you are a dreamer. You are reevaluating or have reevaluated the role of alcohol in your life. And when you put those things together, like, your trajectory on this planet is going to go far, okay? I know that. I know that in my heart. And there's this quote that I really, really love. We often think we have imposter syndrome or like we don't know enough to get started. And there's this quote I want to leave you with. God doesn't call the qualified. He qualifies the called. And I already know you are called because you're here. And so you are already on your journey to getting qualified, right? So you are already everything you need to be in order to do this. You already have been called by even just knowing and being able to tap into your bigger goals and dreams. Allow that to really give you the faith that you need, that it is possible for you. I'm promising you, you wouldn't have this bigger dream if it wasn't possible for you. We don't dream random things that we don't want to do in our lives. I don't have a dream of going to space. I don't have a dream of climbing Mount Everest, but I do have a dream of being a New York Times bestseller, right? And I do believe that that is possible for me in this life, even though it didn't happen with my first book, right? I'm writing another book and it's going to happen. Carrie says, I want to become more emboldened now. Yes, I can't wait to see you in the program. I would love to see you, Jenny and Catherine, all of you beautiful ladies and gentlemen. And so what I'm going to do is you're going to get emailed the information. I already put it in here too. You're going to get that $300 off for early bird, which only goes until Tuesday night. Okay. So don't snooze, don't lose. It's going to save you money. You want to get in there now, save your spot now. It is an incubator where we work personally together on your bigger goals and dreams. And we meet as a group to be able to talk not only about achieving your bigger goals and dreams, but in the context of being someone who has reevaluated the role of alcohol in your life. And I just want you to think of how special that is, of how unlikely it is that we are surrounded by other alcohol-free people in our lives, right? We are usually the only ones. We are usually the odd ones out in that sense. And so to actually form community of people who are healing and working on their relationships with alcohol and changing and just completely making it so insignificant, I think is so special. So I would love to see you there. I think there's something really special when you put alcohol-free individuals in a room. The sense of possibility and just goals and dreams are so much more capable because we are not holding ourselves back with a fermented beverage that depresses us and makes us feel low and glum and totally messes with our neurochemistry. Everything literally is possible, right? So I would love to meet you there. If you have any questions, feel free to, you can email me, you can DM me on either Instagram or Facebook. We'd love, love, love to hear from you. And I am just so excited for everyone who's been joining. We have a special gift for you, so don't leave yet. We have a special gift for you. So I was talking about how to attract wealth masterclass. And you know, the thing that happens is when I started my first journey on building my business and this book and all these things, I grew up in a very frugal household. I grew up, my parents fled communist Poland, and I grew up in a very immigrant, frugal household. So my parents saved every little penny. You would never leave a scrap of food. I would never go shopping at nice clothing stores. We would never eat out. That was unthinkable, right? And I grew up with this mentality to be so frugal, to never spend, to never save. And so, I started to feel really guilty as an adult whenever I spent any money on myself, and I never invested in myself. Buying alcohol was somehow okay, right? Buying all this money on alcohol was fine. But when it came to my actual personal growth and my dreams, I was very wary about investing in myself. And I remember the very first time I invested even $16, $20 in myself. It was so weird and so kind of like, oh my God, what if this doesn't work out? And what I've really, really recognized is that your goals and dreams are a full body investment. They are a full body commitment from you. And we spend money all the time on these unhealthy habits throughout our lives. But why is it that we as a society don't invest in our bigger goals and dreams, right? I paid $7,500 to work with a book consultant to help me get my book a book deal. So something I didn't share earlier is I spent and invested a lot of money to actually get my book out into the world. And, part of me would have been like, maybe this is a scam. Maybe this won't work. And, there was another part of me that said, this is the path. This is the way. My goals and dreams are worth it. What I want to become is worth it. And so, having just a regular side of not only knowing that, yes, it's safe to invest in myself, but that money comes back. Because your goals and dreams have the capability to make you so much abundance that you can't even fathom. I could have never fathomed I would have gotten a 6-figure book deal. I made that back investment like crazy. I could have never imagined that I'd make well over $1 million in my business, right? And so we need to have the faith that money works like a tide. Money comes in and out. We are allowed to let some of it go because more of it has space to come in, right? And so I think investing in ourselves is super important. And I want to share with you this free masterclass so that you can start to change your relationship with money and have this more beautiful, energetic space for you where you're attracting more money into your life. Because I know that money often comes up as such a big, oh, I would do anything, I would do this, but it's just the money that's holding me back. And so how do we change that? How do we change that? We change that right here, right? Like I said, everything, our reality is all due to our consciousness. So if we have scarcity beliefs, if we believe that we never make enough, or that there's never enough, or that, bills always have to be paid, all these negative beliefs, we will manifest that. We will create that reality. So you get this free masterclass totally for free. I'm sharing the link right now. Please go through it. Please, allow yourself to enable this new belief system that money comes and goes, and the more I invest in myself, the more I bring back. Allow yourself to feel this energetic harmony with money, that you actually are attracting abundance, and that your bigger goals and dreams are the secret to that abundance, right? Again, I would have never imagined that my company would make well over $1 million. How could I fathom that many years ago? So here's your code. It's completely free. This is usually a $500 class. You guys are getting it for free, so enjoy. It's right there for you. I just put it in the comment section. And like I said, I cannot wait to meet you. I cannot wait to work with you. It is so special. Last time we did Become Emboldened, I met one of my nearest and dearest now. She was someone who reevaluated the role of alcohol in her life in September, and she joined our November round for Become Emboldened. Can I just tell you where she is right now? Right now, she's already quit her job. She's already launched a coaching business. She's already writing a book. She's already deciding to launch a podcast, and she's already gone viral on Instagram. I literally just met this woman in October, and this is how far she is now, right? Get yourself into a room where people are making big moves. Get yourself into a room where you get one-on-one mentorship. Get yourself into a room where your bigger dreams are inculcated by the people, the growth-oriented people around you, the alcohol-free people around you that are actually understand your lifestyle and know it is the secret to success. In a heartbeat, if I know everything I knew now, I wish that previous version of me when I was first starting my business got myself into these rooms faster, because I would have collapsed time. I would have been faster, successful, faster, right? I can't wait to meet you and Become Emboldened. Like I said, we start June 11th, but your early bird discount disappears on June 4th. So use the code STRAWBERRY and Become Emboldened. We got you the link. We'll get you also we'll get you the emails about it too, so you can check it out. You can take a look. Please look at the testimonials. Oh, it's so good to hear from Amy. It's so good to see you. She says it's an amazing program. I know Lisa's here from the program. We've just had so many incredible women who have such a big heart. And Amy, if you don't mind me sharing, but Amy kind of came in not sure what to do, and is launching a podcast that's like incredible and so well needed in her area and niche. And so many of us shared so many big-hearted dreams in those comments, and a lot of them were to help people. And sometimes we meet people in real life and we can actually have a conversation with them and help them, but oftentimes there's this idea of thought leadership where you could spread ideas that help other people. You could spread ideas about health and wellness. You could spread ideas about mental health. You could spread ideas about high performance and achieving your goals and wellness and all these things, and it actually reaches so many other people. That's why I'm so obsessed with helping you be a thought leader to achieve these bigger goals and dreams. So I'll see you and Become Emboldened. Let me know if you have any questions. I can't wait to hear from you. This has been such a special 3-day workshop. Whether you join us or not, I hope you got some really good value out of this. I hope it just gave you the time and space to really connect with yourself and really understand what you want in this next phase of life and how going alcohol free has been leading you towards it. You have everything you need inside of you to achieve your dream. You wouldn't even have the vision, the desire. You wouldn't have that if it wasn't possible for you. God doesn't call the qualified. He qualifies the called. You're already called. You're already in. Just believe it and take these, little energetic practices that I shared with you today. Take the community that we're forming for you and run with it. The saddest thing that I ever hear in my career is someone who gave up on their dreams. That is the saddest thing for me, because I know how possible they are. I know how close they are to achieving them when they give up, right? Don't give up on your bigger goals and dreams. You were made for them. It's been so special to see you. I'm actually going on a cruise today. So what is life? I have this beautiful call with you, and now I'm going on a Mexican cruise. This is my life now. I would have never imagined it back when I was working in a cubicle. I was making under $50,000 a year for a long time. Just this life is so different. It's night and day difference. And it all started by not only reevaluating the role of alcohol in my life, but also making my goals and dreams the forefront center and changing my belief systems to be able to go after them. It matters. It's fulfilling. It's so growing. And the people you meet and the opportunities that come around because you really step into this work are just so incredible. Okay, one last thing, housekeeping. We're also going to be sharing our giveaway winners. So we'll be sharing that within the next about 24 to 48 hours, just depending on how the Wi-Fi situation is on my cruise. But we'll be getting that to you really, really shortly. I can't wait to announce the winners. Thank you so much for playing so full out. DM me any questions. I love to hear from you. Let's do this thing.